Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's this time of the week that we like to say,
Welcome to Eejits of the World!
Science. And this week, what a cornucopia of scientific Eejits we have for you. We have the Eejits of drugged up fish.
We have the Eejits of Scouse-giants.
We have the Eejits of the frozen undead.
And we have the Eejits of violent education.
And our first scientific discovery is none other that they've tested the fish and crustaceans around the British coast, and almost all of them have traces of drugs in them.
Oh, I believe that. Anybody who, we both work in nightclubs across this great land, and if half of those people aren't on cocaine, they're massive assholes.
Yeah, that's our first scientific discovery. unless the nightlife of Britain is out of its mind on cocaine, they are wankers.
Yeah.
Terrible
Something has
people.
to be done. if those fish had come back clean of cocaine, we would have to have had a cull of some sort.
You can solely see. Fish on cocaine makes sense to me. It explains why they all turn the same direction towards the toilet at the same time. Look at the bag! They went, but it's weirdly they found it because it's what it is. All the drugs, both pharmaceutical and illegal, that people ingest, it just gets peed out of you.
Yeah.
It doesn't get destroyed in any way. It just goes back into our water system, and it's starting to affect all the wildlife around the coasts of Britain because under the Tory government, they allowed an awful lot of sewage to get just pumped raw.
Yeah, not just sewage. Raw sewage. Uncut. Back when sewage could say what it liked.
Exactly. WWF. Raw sewage.
Yeah.
Mr. Poop is going up against the Skidmark brothers. Not mature. But they found,
Don't just point it out afterwards. People already knew that. All the early callers come in. Andrew has pointed out it's not mature to say Poop and the Skidmark brothers.
They're a great double act. Weirdly, Skidmark brothers were actually cousins. Anyway, interesting story.
Still didn't make it right.
Did not make it right. Did not make it right. But yeah, they found different drugs in different animals. They found that when it comes to crabs, I promise this is true. They found that crabs have a huge amount of female contraceptive in them. I was like, well, that explains why they're so snappy.
Yeah. And thank God, or I'd have a couple of little crab children running around by now.
Let's just say it's not hard shell all the way around. Oh, God.
Give me a hand job and make it snappy.
But there's loads of animals that are... No. How did you end up being circumcised? Interesting story.
Yeah.
Interesting story. I was holidaying in Cape Cod one time.
Would it be religiously legal to have your breasts performed by a crab?
I have absolutely no idea. This is slightly beyond.
I know you're
my...
not allowed to eat shellfish, but can you have them work for you?
That's a very good point. We shall find out.
Yeah.
Not here.
Any rabbis at home listening, please call in.
Any seafood rabbis.
Yeah.
God, they were a great band.
Yeah.
2 bassists. Amazing. Didn't make any sense. Anyway, yeah, this is apparently they've found that trout.
Funny name.
The trout are addicted to the cocaine Every time that the trout, when the sewerage starts pouring out, all the trout start gathering around it. And he just goes, yeah.
Talking.
Just yapping away at each other.
Trout.
I'm a rainbow trout, did you know that?
Oh, yes, we all know about your...
I'm a rainbow trout. Yeah, they found that the trout quite rapidly become addicted to the cocaine in the sewerage, and that they will all stop doing what they're naturally trouting about, whatever they're meant to be doing in shoals and migrating. They'll just not do any of it and just hang around by the outflow. That grim.
So could you chum for trout with a half a gram?
Oh, easily. Just a little bag. Just have no fishing tackle needed anymore. Just,
Any fish want a little bit of cha-cha?
I call it West End bait.
So they have, yeah, and they're all on different ones though. That's weird that they can.
Yeah, for whatever reason they're all high on different supplies.
Wow.
Yeah, the trout like coke, the crabs like, the pill for some reason. They like contraceptives.
Do crabs not change sex though? Aren't they able to change sex?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's a thing I like to make up sometimes.
Sure. I mean,
say something that nobody can
verify.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be true.
Yeah, snakes got pockets.
In Australia, snakes
they
have pouches. You can't Google it though. It's not. They don't put it on the net. It's part of a government program. So don't even look into it.
So they're trying to keep the science back from us. Did you know amongst all the marsupials of Australia, right? One of their defining features obviously is the pouch, right? They've got a pouch that their joeys live in, right? They have their final third of gestation in the pouch, right? Where the titties are in there, so they're drinking the milk and growing in the pouch, right? The wombat is a marsupial as well, but it's a digging marsupial. It digs in the ground. So it's the only marsupial whose pouch is the other way around. The pouch, the entrance of the pouch is at the bottom, because if they're just digging, they just fill their pouch in. It's so disappointing as a wombat. I am getting nowhere here.
No, you're about to only be in fossils. if there's a design flaw like that.
Yeah. There's only going to be a squashed one of you in a museum real soon. Unless you can find a way of sorting this out.
Yeah, maybe side saddle digging.
Side saddle digging. Yeah, that's what those crabs are doing.
Yeah.
It's affecting all sorts of wildlife, including they did a study of birds. I think they were sparrows, but I might be wrong. But little birds in Sweden, because Sweden has one of the highest rates of antidepressant use in the world. There's so much antidepressant in the water that it's got into the actual water table under the ground.
Wow!
So the groundwater has antidepressants in it. And it's affecting the birds, because the birds in Scandinavia, have to plump themselves up in the late summer to get as fat as possible so that they can survive the very cold Scandinavian winter.
Yeah.
But these little birds are blissed out of their tits on antidepressants, so they're not preparing for the winter at all. They're just like, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Like an American 1960s housewife. It's okay. Everything's fine. I'm sure Richard Nixon's a nice man. Seriously. These little sparrows are just, I don't really feel like rushing about and
Yeah.
Preparing for the winter.
Well.
Not when I feel so calm inside.
Yeah, they're about to learn a valuable lesson. Like, it's the ant and the flea. One of them works and the other one doesn't. And then he learns it. And at Christmas time, they won't let him in. I can't remember the story.
It's like, this is Eejits of science, not Eejits of half-remembered fables.
Yeah, it's the owl and the goat, and they're in a little boat. And then the scorpion stings them.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
Because it's a scorpion.
Mm-hmm. That's what he had to do.
And as they're all dying, the owl goes, why did you do that? I'm a scorpion, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm not on antidepressants.
Yeah, I think a scorpion could still get you there. So even if you stepped on it, it would be like, I'm so sorry, but I poked you with that thing.
I'm so sorry. You're going to lose a limb.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there you go. So that's what's happening.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is there anything we can do to cheer these Swedes up so they don't have to be gobbling down these antidepressants?
I don't know. Like, maybe you could just, look at the women in your country. Like,
yeah, that's how sad they are when they're on like some sort of super science fiction planet of beautiful women.
Yeah, it is. It's basically in the 1960s sci-fi. Anytime they went to Planet Paradise, it's just a lot of chicks from Gothenburg, like always plucking apples, just as hello. But basically, what it is, in nature, you're meant to have a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah.
So these little birdies are like, oh, shit. I better eat a lot. I gotta fat myself up all good.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Skinny birds passing away in the snow.
Oh, that can't help. That can't be a nice thing to see for all the depressed people.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ, I was kind of blue anyway. Now I'm just kicking dead red robins.
Yeah. Watch a bird shiver to death. That's what it's like in Stockholm.
That's right. That's the opening line of our national anthem. We all link arms and sing it.
Yeah.
Watch.
All sit and bow your head.
And watch a small robin shiver to death.
They bring them out like doves to be released. Put them in the middle.
Yeah, but they're too blissed out to fly.
Yeah.
Who needs wings?
No.
When I get these crazy toes. They're so crazy. It's like I'm giving people the finger and the peace sign at the same time. How nuts is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
There you go.
Yeah.
So the point that I'm trying to say is stop taking drugs.
Yeah.
Or at least store your urine.
Yeah. Stop pissing on birds, you freaky Swedes. You're caught. You've been captured.
Red-handed.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Cheer up.
Robin red-breasted. Quit pissing on the birds, you chefs.
That's true. There you go.
Yeah.
That just shows you how we're affecting the natural world.
That's not the only way, Andrew.
It's the only way that I'm willing to destroy a painting for.
Right.
So do you have a story for me, Mr. Glenn?
Yes, this took place in 1578.
Is that the time before science?
Well, they had their own science. A lot of it was really wrong.
An awful lot of it just involved burning women.
Yeah.
But not before they put them through the scientific method of drowning them.
Yeah.
Oh, now that's how you begin science.
Yeah. They were just listening for a shrillness in the voice and went, yes, we have it there. That's the science.
Yes, I believe we have what I believe is called in the streets a buoyant babe.
Yes.
Here's one.
Yeah.
Yes. So 15, what was it?
1578, the child of Hale was born. Yeah.
Child of Hale.
That was his
Where's
nickname. It's a suburb of Liverpool. It's close to it's in Liverpool now, but
right.
Back in 1578 it was probably
many leagues,
20 miles away from Liverpool. We've never heard of it.
Oh, you're gonna find out about it, lad. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
15 horse leagues away.
Well, this guy was born, and he would not stop growing.
Okay.
And grew to the height of 9'3".
What?
That's what they say. Now, there's never been anybody that big before.
Or since.
Not since.
Not even
before.
now.
And especially,
that's like 2 foot taller than, an NBA basketball star now.
Yeah. I think the biggest guy ever was 8'11". And they were, but they've got more proof on that guy, apparently.
Yeah. Video of him. Like, he was in the last 100 years.
Oh, was he? Right.
Yeah.
Well, this guy wasn't. So they have like measurings of him. Like they did measure him at times, and they do have his remains. And they said he was exhumed in Victorian times, and I guess the Victorians were also big fat liars. They've said, I mean, how could you, you could just separate the bones to 9'3" and go, yes, I do declare that this man was 9'3" if it was a day.
We may have done some stretching. All for the scientific method, understand?
Yeah, we weren't about to let Napoleon win. We had the longer one.
Yes. We will drag one of these. Hello, peasant. How would you like to be 7 foot long?
Fetch me 2 strong horses. I'll make one longer than the French tall man.
By jingo. If Blighty will not be known as the land of the stringy giants.
The land of the headless giants. That keeps happening.
Maybe tie them around the wrists and
something.
Something's going wrong.
Give them a long body, not a long neck.
Please leave me to do my science. My 15th century science. Just here in the background. And, another head's come off. What is it about these peasants? They're so unwilling to be stretched.
They realize there's a war going on. We can't roll over to those frogs. We have to fight them with our incredibly stretched men.
Yes, well, if you expect me to lay siege to a castle with ladders like a commoner or a Frenchman, no, stretched out scousers for me.
Well, he did grow to a height that was weird for the time.
Well, I mean, it's almost 500 years ago. People weren't exactly big.
6 foot tall men would be
That's a huge
dude. They'd be big.
Yeah, it's a colossal man. If you ever go into an old-timey country pub in Britain or in Ireland, you have to stoop to get in, and they've lowered the floors.
Oh, wow, they've lowered the floor.
Yeah.
That must have upset you.
I was like, what the hell is this? It's like a fucking aircraft hangar in here. It's like an aircraft hangar with horse brasses and Toby jugs. And those fun line drawings from the 1930s of a shepherd meeting a guy on a horse and cart. And
yeah.
Oh, you know that thing or golf. He goes, I thought this was meant to be a hole-in-one, vicar.
Yeah.
That's
like
watercolors.
You just have to try and figure out what the joke is. And sometimes it's written in colloquial slang. Too. N-O-E-R, brava. The other guy's like looking at him through his monocle. Like, only twice, missus. And you're like, how did?
What was the joke?
Is he the angel of death? Who is he? Why does he have a? Oh, he just has a sickle. Okay, that's a red herring.
He's just playing golf with a sickle. And there's another man who's sort of weirdly, he's so angry, he's pulling his hat off and his legs are in the air and he's like, "By barnacles!" Actually, no mention of that it's death, nothing.
Yeah, no, and at the time it was so funny that they had to hang it on the wall, and really, people generally would just really get a kick out of it. Cut to 50 years later, it's just like, oh.
Well, we had a choice, you see. People getting taller every year. We either spend all the money lowering the floor, or we could just line the pub with some of the funniest jokes in the world, so people were always bent over, but double. In hilarity. So, anyway.
So this guy won't stop growing in the countryside just outside of Liverpool. And he grows to such a height that the sheriff of Lancashire says, "Okay, you're my personal bodyguard because you're gigantic." And the guy, he works in the field, so he's as strong as a farmer. But he's from a sort of poor background, and they said that by legend he used to have to sleep with his feet sticking out the window. He couldn't fit in his own house. I don't know why they didn't just give him a bigger house, or
yeah.
If you lived in a bigger house and you had a cough, he'd be looking at you like,
yeah.
My feet get really cold. Because people died of weird things back then.
Everything.
Too. Yeah.
Everything.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely everything. Everything. Pretty much everything would have killed you in the 15th century.
Yeah. Well, that's what he was waiting around for, but he couldn't, so he had to sleep in this tiny house. So he gets a job as the bodyguard, and then the king comes along to knight the sheriff of Lancashire,
right?
And sees this, sees like a 9-foot tall man, and is taken by him, and invites the child of Hale to London to fight his champion. I didn't even know this used to happen, but everybody in those times had a bodyguard, or just the biggest guy around. Yeah. And sometimes you go, "Oh, you get a pretty big guy there too. We want to fight my big guy." Yeah, you want to bring him out like bears.
Is he a gentle giant? Yeah. Not after a bottle of whiskey. Oh, no. He's pretty passive before we stick a bottle of bells in him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's a farmer, Farmers always get that just, off switch of, okay, I don't care if this hurts you. I just need you to be in this position because I'm going to cut your testicles off. Right. Yeah.
I'm going to farm you. I'm going to farm your genitals right off you.
So
never fight the farmers.
Never ever fight a farmer.
Never fight a farmer.
No. Yeah, you'll end up with a tag in your ear afterwards.
Yeah. You're going to have a purple stripe down your back. You're going to have your balls shaved, a purple stripe down your back, and a tag in your ear.
And every once in a while he moves you to a different field.
You're going to have to obey a border collie for the rest of your life.
So this 9-foot...
so he's the mega giant of Greater Liverpool
is sent to London
to fight the London giant.
Yeah, and this is the London giant. He's just like...
Hey, come on, you northern monkey.
Yeah.
I ain't scared of you.
Yeah, and he got his ass kicked.
London giant.
The London giant.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. Kenny Dalglish is a legend. Leave me alone, mate. Come on. I actually like Klopp. I like him.
He broke the London champion's thumb in the wrestling match, which, is not like a big... but if you break another giant's thumb, can you imagine how strong their thumbs were back then? Yeah. They didn't have any help with any sort of levers or stuff. Like, it was all just hand strength. And if you were able to snap another man's thumb, a giant.
The giant Cockney fam.
So
am I supposed to mindlessly scroll through TikTok?
Use your other hand. So the king really liked that this guy had won, and he wanted to pay him tribute. So he gave him £20, which
It was a lot of money back then.
way more back then than it is now.
Yeah, that's 2 points now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he probably, because he was so big, it probably only worked out to 2 pints for him and what he had to drink.
Yeah, I usually drink a barrel at a time.
Yeah. And going back to Liverpool, he was with friends and confidants who'd all come down to see the fight. And they were so jealous that they swindled and stole all of his money all the way back to Liverpool, or to Hale. And when he got back, he was penniless and he died of pauper.
Wow.
Yeah.
He got out-scoused by the rest of the gangsters. What did he do? Just put him up on bricks. That's it, lad. You just stay there, mate.
Well, I mean, you have to be, I feel bad for him, but you have to be impressed with whoever did that. Like, in the 1500s, if your job was swindling giants, like, you are riding close to the sun there, sir. Because there ain't nothing going to help you if this giant's like, hey, I saw that.
Fee, fi, fo,
Thumb.
Fee, fi, fo, thumb.
Snap.
Thumb.
Yeah, and you can't really leave. You just have to be in the town with the giant, because you can't even really leave. You can't really move around in those times.
Well, unless a king tells you to move, like you're not commuting.
No,
I mean,
no.
shit, nobody's even travelling between London and Liverpool now.
It is very difficult.
Very difficult.
Yeah, there's a lot of dog legs and
Lot of M6.
yeah.
Lot of M6.
So
Yeah.
that's the story of
so how did
Stretch.
What happened to his body?
It's buried. In some, I think somewhere in Liverpool. But like they say, they've dug it up before. They also had like pressings of his hand that were in the some national archive, and they've looked at his hand and said he was not 9.5 feet tall. He was, I think they said he was probably 7'9".
It's still pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Considering most people were 3'4".
Exactly.
You're still...
Well, I was in that town. That's why I found out about him. I was just killing a day in Liverpool, and read up on this dude, and they had a statue. And this is how I think it got going, because I looked at it, I was like, okay, so this is like a 9'3" statue, and I was taking pictures of me with the statue, and if we only had it on silhouette, you could be fooled into thinking that Eejits had done some new promo. Yeah. But I thought, like, because you really get a sense of how big that is. Mm-hmm. And then when I was investigating further, they were like, and they have a statue in town that is 9'8". And I'm like, so you just added 5 inches for what? Other than to just go, we had a man this tall, 9'3". No.
They did it exclusively to piss off Mancunians. Let's be honest.
Yeah, they've got some statue.
Hey, listen, Nobbed. We've got giants as well, mate. You know what I mean? Fucking knob. just we've got colossal people in Manchester, but they're all stooped over. Every stooped over in the rain.
Yeah.
But if I was actually unfurl myself, like.
It is quite a stooped. I thought it was just to keep their children dry. That's what it is.
keep your fucking drugs down. If that's what you mean by me children. Because me drugs are in me children.
Yeah.
That's where I started them. Well, there you go.
And then the drugs leave the children and into the sea.
Which do you think would be worse if 500 years ago, to be a celebrity giant or a celebrity midget?
I think there'd be more expected of you as a celebrity giant.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. Like I mean, I guess the celebrity midgets run the risk of being thrown across taverns.
Yeah.
But the king's not going, hey, the Archduke of Bavaria also has a rowdy midget.
Oh God, I think I would enjoy the midget fights more than I would the giant fights. I think they probably had them on cards, like weight classes. Like all the different sort of, now the fattest man in the land will fight the other. The fattest man in England will fight the fattest man in Scotland.
Yes, exactly.
Neutral ground.
It's the Gretna Green Ramble. Now this next story from the world of Eejits of science is top drawer, Mr. Glenn.
Okay.
Oh, yes. I speak of none other than the quackery that is cryogenics.
The perfect scam. You thought people were swindling giants. People have been swindling giants of industry with this one.
So great. So great. Anyway, it turns out cryonics is the actual term. Cryogenics is when you freeze anything, but cryonics is the right.
So I've been participating in cryogenics with that old thing of ground beef that I never got around to using in the freezer.
That's right. That's right. You've cryogenically frozen dinner, right? So it turns out, right? Obviously, there is 250 people in America have been cryogenically frozen, right? It's cost them 200 grand a pop, right?
Best money they ever spent.
There's so many crazy things to the story, right? As of right now, let alone whenever they agreed to be frozen, as of right now, there is no means to defrost them and bring them back to life.
Oh, power outage, defrost them.
Well, that's it. There's actually, it happened at one facility. There was a power outage, and the deceased decomposed into, and I quote, a plug of fluids that had to be scraped off the bottom of the capsule.
Oh no.
Oh, no, man.
So what does that do to like the prospects of being a ghost? Like do you become a ghost of that? Like every Halloween on the full moon when the clock strikes 12, what appears to be a pizza slithers down the hall moaning.
The ghost of Gloop. Yeah. Finally, a ghost that can
being a ghost is the least scary thing about you. You can't get away from it because it just slithers under the door.
Yeah. Finally, a ghost that really can go through walls. Oh man,
with a nose in the middle of it. I'm here.
I used to run a Fortune 500 company. They're all loaded, dude. Imagine that
nobody scrimped and saved their whole life just to be frozen at the end of it. I was a cleaner. I always wanted to be frozen and working up in the future.
But that's it. They all have it in their heads that, I've been such an amazing captain of industry. The future will need me. None of these dudes have ever thought that even if the technology worked, which it doesn't, but they said one of the problems with the technology, one of the defrosting problems, it's called thermal stress. And what that means in layman's terms is that they snap in half. some of these corpses have frostbite and they're snapping like twiglets anytime they're handled. So they've no means of defrosting them so far. But what's extraordinary about it is every one of them did it because they think the future will need me.
Yeah.
Whereas the reality is, even if this science worked, right, the only people that are ever going to defrost you, the only reason they're ever going to defrost you and revitalise you is to punish you. Right? They're going to bring you back to life to punish you for what the fuck you did to the planet in our century.
Oh, that even suggests that there's a morality to the future. You're thinking that they're going to be good. You might get thawed out 1,000 years from now by horny aliens. Yep. And they just spend all of eternity humping and freezing you. Humping and freezing. And every 100 years, you get thawed out again because a big fish is in town. And when I say a big fish, it's a big fish.
It's a big coked up fish.
Big coked up fish. I mean, they've heard of humans, but no one's ever seen. We got one. We got one.
Once we were merely coked up trout. Now we have evolved to have the largest snorting gills in the universe. Even a small one of our fish can do an 8-ball in an instant.
Bring me my concubine! And the only thing you're going to enjoy about this experience is we have incredibly small penises. Even for a trout.
Hence the expression, hung like a coked up trout. It's not what you have, it's what you do with it. Everybody knows that. It's the motion of the ocean.
Actually, trout are a river fish. It's the quiver of the river.
It's the quiver. 1,000 years.
You're cooked up trout in a bad toupee.
What to you is reanimated billionaire gloop is on our planet known as lube. We have travelled across the eons of the universe.
Just a cooked up trout laying its eggs in you. Hitting the silt up with its tail. Spraying a big load of eggs right across your face.
So tell me about yourself, Gloop. Is it true you once bought Twitter and rebranded it X? I hear you were kind of hot stuff. You were an important man on your planet in your time. Until everybody realised they could also make battery fucking cars.
Yeah. Now you have minnows in your cranium.
Minnows in your cranium, man. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, man alive. Yeah, there's more to this. God, this is a great story. I don't know how we missed out cryogenics. We're this far into the world of Eejits of the world, and we have not got to cryogenics yet.
Yeah.
So they have all the data on the 250 people who've done this in America. Do you want to hear the gender breakdown of it?
I think I know.
Yeah.
But
There's 3 dudes for every 1 woman frozen. Boy, oh boy. What a great day that's going to be for those frozen ladies. Waking up in hundreds of years' time to find they're in a sausage fest in space.
with the 200 high achievers.
That's right. Enjoy my gloop, man. If you look closely, you can still make out the khakis he used to wear. Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
3 times as many dudes as ladies.
I'm surprised there's any ladies. That doesn't seem like the kind of thing they'd fall for.
Well, there's a lot of idiots out there.
That's true.
Not
That's
all
true.
women are geniuses, you know. Some of them spend 200 grand on being frozen.
But you know what I mean? It's that's the immortality thing. It's yeah. But maybe it's wives of
Oh, you like
must have caused a argument like if you
it's like a pharaoh style situation.
Well, what does that say to you and your if you're like, honey, I'm gonna put I'm gonna be cryogenically frozen. I want to do it. It's 200 grand, and she's like, well, we don't have 400 grand. We do have 2.
Yeah. Listen, I'm willing to be totally faithful in this world, but there's a lobster king that wants to make love to me in 1,000 years. Oh, no, sorry. Use me as so that he can
Wants to lay his eggs in me.
in my chest cavity, and I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty cool with that. Not that I don't like you, Sarah.
Yeah.
But
we'll have this time together, and then I'll have that time later.
With King Lobster. He says my chest cavity's the sexiest vagina he's ever seen.
Yeah. Like you old charmer, you.
Anyway.
I love it when he talks dirty to me.
And how appropriate that the heavens have opened above Eejits of the World headquarters.
That's right.
Hopefully you can hear the...
God's crying with laughter.
That's right. That's it. It is people playing God, but only with like 200 grand. Whereas God's like got a lot of money.
God's got a lot of money. Yeah.
God's got a lot of money.
And he's got like big God dollars, like a giant check.
Big God dollars. Like, you reckon the world is just a theme park for God? Kind of is, man. But listen, I have not finished. I have still got more in this fantastic story for you, because it turns out, and because this is quite a morose, weird, dark story. I would like to end it on a high note.
Let's get high.
Right, let's do that. Let's get high on the blood of a frozen man. Turns out there's a town in Colorado, in the great state of Colorado, called Nederland. And in Nederland...
That's not where that is, but okay.
That's what the town's called. Nederland, Colorado, actually has a festival celebrating cryogenics called Frozen Dead Guy Days. Right? This is genuinely true. Frozen Dead Guy Days. Look it up. Nederland, Colorado. So how did this all come about? Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Glenn. In 1989, in Norwegian, this is unbelievable. All these words, this word salad that I'm about to throw at you is actually true. 1989, a Norwegian man called Trygve Bauge. That's as close as I'm going to get to Trygve Bauge, right? His granddad, Bredo Mostall.
These are Star Wars names.
They sure are. They're second.
They were 2 bounty hunters looking for a tiny little Yoda. And is Han Solo the frozen dead guy? He's not dead. That's just carbon.
That's what pisses me off about science fiction movies. That's the thing that gets to me, Mr. Glenn. In every science fiction movie, it's like, wow, look, crazy, amazing. A world of wild imaginings. Like Star Wars, it's set in a universe far, far away. Or Dune, it's a planet millions of years into the future. Anything could happen. The wildest imagination. Oh yeah, Star Wars. Who's the main character? It's called Luke. Right, what about Dune? What's this crazy wild... Yeah, and he's called Paul.
Yeah.
Right, literally the name of everybody's brother-in-law in Ireland. Like, this is, you know what I mean? Or this is Lord Zarkon of the Zarpanat for Kalarganox 5.
They either go way
Yeah, you know what I
into
mean?
the other distance.
It's a super ding of the Blue Bond 5s, and this cunt's called Tony. So annoying. I don't know why it gets me. Anyway, back to this extraordinary story. So 1989, Norwegian Trygvid Bauge, right? His granddad, Bredo Morstall, passes away. Right?
Of being too Norwegian. He died. He choked on herring.
I'm sorry, but Olaf is as Norwegian as it gets. So he puts his the granddad dies. This is the cryogenics, or whatever. What do they call them? The cryonics is just starting, but he's taking a job in America, so he freezes his granddad in dry ice, and he transports him to America, to Colorado, and he brings his granny out there with him. Right? And they move to Nederland, Colorado. Right? But Trygve Bauge, he overstays his visa. So they've got the frozen granddad at the end of the garden in a shed.
Right.
Right? They've got the frozen granddad in a shed at the end of the garden in Colorado.
Wow.
But Trygve Bauge, he's overstayed his visa. So he has to go back. So now the Norwegian granny is just living in Nederland, Colorado on her own with frozen husband at the end of the garden. Right?
Just as she always planned it.
Right? But she then can't keep up the payments on the house. Right? So the house gets repossessed or something like that. There's some sort of financial issue, right? And they're worried that the house is going to get sold and that, you know, granddad's going to get defrosted in the garden, right? So there's a brand of shed called Tough Shed. They sponsor. Tough Shed got together with a local Denver, Colorado radio station, and they put out an appeal. And this company, Tough Shed, built a new special shed for him. Right?
Right.
And to this day, with the money they raised from the radio station appeal, he's there. Grandad Bredo is frozen in a shed in a small town in Colorado to this day. And to celebrate their unusual dead resident, every year they celebrate him by having frozen dead guy days.
Did they take him out and sort of pose him?
No idea.
Like a Last Supper kind of style, like they all have a meal and he sits at the
Just stick him in a bath with all the beers. break a toe off.
Put in your mint julep.
This big toe in a G&T.
Yeah, you just have to stand there till it cools it and then you drink it.
Yeah, and like you're not an animal, you obviously put it back in.
Yeah.
In the festival, they have they have coffin races.
Wow.
Yeah. They have frozen plunges into the ice water.
Well, that tracks.
Then they got special drinks.
Right. What's that?
I think there's some fruit.
Wow.
I think that's meant to depict the inner gloop of a frozen dude.
I think that, yeah. How does he feel about being fruit flavored? I was a happily married man. What are you implying?
Exactly. I kind of feel like I'm more herring flavored than fruit flavored. What do you?
That's me. Sorry.
Well, there you go. So does cryogenics work? No. But does small town American civic society work?
Yes.
Yes, it does. So, ladies and gentlemen, stop spending 200 grand on being frozen into future space whore gloop. Instead, invest in your community. If you want to truly live on, you have to live on in the collective memories of your community.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's not going to fit on a bumper sticker, but it doesn't mean it isn't true.
That's true.
Don't become space whore gloop.
I think we have this week's bumper sticker. Yeah. Wise words, Mr. Glenn. Wise words. Thank you. Do you have a concluding story for us?
I do. This is I didn't know this could happen, but apparently there was a guy. He got in a fight, and he got sucker punched, and he ended up getting like superpowers. He got like he's like a super math guy now. Like he sees things.
You're telling me a tale of a man being punched smarter.
He got punched smarter, and this is a warning to all the bullies out there. Yeah. You know, now it was with a punch, but surely you could probably do it with a horse bite or a noogie or anything. You know,
nipple cripple.
Something, whatever, a shock to the system. Just know that you could unlock part of someone's brain and make a super person, a superhero, and then your bullying's done because he's gonna math you.
Right. Well, the first time I heard the story, I thought, no, he was probably already smart, but he grew up in a stupid place and had to hide his smartness until he got sucker punched for no good reason and just went, oh, sod it.
Yeah.
I shall unleash my intelligence. But no, I looked at this. His name is Jason Padgett.
Yeah.
I think Jason Padgett. And he was in some rural part of the state of Washington, so in the American Northwest.
That's my hood.
That's right. So there's plenty of stupid people around there.
I was going to say that takes away of the theory that he was really smart.
There's a lot of dumbasses in plaid. He was prior to the incident where he got sucker punched outside a karaoke bar.
Oh my God.
God, it's just so sad.
If we could find out what song he was singing, we could find out how smart he was before this.
We believe it was "Lovin' an Elevator" by Aerosmith. Does that strike you as the behavior of a genius?
Which way did he point when he sang "Going Down"?
Yeah. Yeah, prior to the incident which made him super smart, he apparently now has acquired savant syndrome.
Yeah.
Right? He can now maths shapes in his mind. He's now a visual maths artist genius. Because he got sucker punched outside a karaoke bar in Washington State. Prior to it, does this sound like an undercover genius? He was 31 years old. He had a mullet. He was a futon salesman. He was a 31-year-old mulleted futon salesman. And the incident the violent incident that produced his genius, what happened was somebody tried to rob him for his leather vest.
Are you sure this isn't me?
Yeah. It's like, all of that sounds like you. Because I've seen you in a leather vest. You're from the Northwest.
Oh, I had a wonderful mullet not when I was 31, but
you had a mullet, and you used to be a whirlpool salesman.
Yeah, a hot tub salesman.
Oh, excuse me.
I think this was me. I might just not remember it, but yeah, that's when I got into comedy. I got sucker punch. And believe me when I tell you, I could absolutely sing "Love in an Elevator," and I probably wouldn't need to look at the words. If I was in a karaoke bar and they were just like, we can't get the screen working. Don't matter. Just give me the mic. Love in an elevator. Living it up when you're going down.
1 week in your small Western Canadian town being a genius. And you'd be like, God damn it. Punch him again. Punch him stupid again.
Or take him to the airport. Yeah.
Regional airport. We're not made of money.
No way. Just get him out of here. Yeah, I think that was me. There's a lot of gaps in my memory.
Do you think at any point in your life you were called Jason Paget?
Maybe. I would know how to say it if I. Yeah. Nah.
Yeah. Nah.
Nah.
There you go.
This has happened before in a different a different angle. You know the Paralympics?
I do.
There was a wheelchair race. Probably that's not what they call it, but they were. Or I can't remember exactly what they were doing, but it was people with different spinal injuries.
Oh, okay.
And one of the participants got in an accident and wiped out and hit the wall, but it fixed him. Yeah, like his back was like in a way, and just hitting it just did the perfect like click.
Wow.
Yeah, bittersweet to whoever took gold that year.
Yeah, exactly. He finished last, but did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
As he walks up to get his participation medal.
Scampers up.
Yeah, or maybe the guy, whoever won, is just so clueless. Always like,
God almighty.
Why do you stand beside greatness?
What an amazing moment that must have been. Just clunk.
Yeah.
There you go. Number 42 doesn't seem to be racing anymore or in a wheelchair.
Oh, no, he's had a miracle. He's had a miracle in the corner. That's a bittersweet day.
It's not really in the spirit of the occasion. Wow. Well, there you go. Yeah, apparently he's super brainy now.
And he still is.
Yeah.
Better stay out of fights.
Absolutely.
Or maybe it'll just get him smarter.
Or now that he's a super smart maths genius, like he's fighting nerds in universities, like.
Maybe, yeah, but who knows? It's just punching. He should become a boxer, and he's just, as the fight wears on, he's just getting better and better. Turning into a demigod every time he drops his guard. He just becomes stronger and stronger.
Who knows?
Until he's not getting out of the corner, but the guy's punching himself, and he's just mind. That perfect circle in his forehead is just controlling the other boxer.
Well, I suppose it is an interesting question, Mr. Glenn, to pose. What skill would you be willing to get punched in the head for?
Just anything.
Anything really?
I just want another job at this point. It's pizza making. I don't care.
I don't really care. 3 squares a day, you can punch me in the head. I'd like to reapply as a punch bag. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is, like, if you could get punched in the head and then you could speak Italian.
I think I would probably take like French or Spanish, because then I could do stand-up in it and open up a whole new market.
Why couldn't you do that in Italian?
Well, there's less Italian speakers. I'm trying to take over the world.
Oh, I see. Man, 1 minute you're like, I'd like anything. Next thing, it's conquer the universe.
Hey, these trout eggs aren't going to lay themselves in my brain.
Be weird though, wouldn't it? That's all it took. You could just become super brilliant at something by getting cranked in the head. How confident would you feel like you were just about to go under for major surgery and the surgeon walks in with a black eye? Woo! It's still stinging, but now I know how to take your larynx out.
Is that what I'm in here for?
Is now.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to.
I don't pick what I know. I just get punched and I know how to do a thing. So.
And I'm just a larynx surgeon.
Yeah.
No matter what you come in for, you're getting a new larynx. Well, there you go. There's science for you.
Yeah.
And it's been, I think, a wonderful journey through the world of the scientific method.
I feel so much more knowledge. I feel like I've really been sucker punched at a karaoke bar.
I feel like I've been cranked around the noggin by Light Entertainment.
Yeah.
But very good. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this week's Eejits of the World. Please like and subscribe. We're on all the social media platforms. Please interact with them. Follow us on them. All that sort of, leave a review. Yeah. All the algorithm love all that. And yum 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 yum. Ones and zeros.
Talk about us beside your computer. You can hear that.
You most certainly can. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a Pod People production.
Pod People production.
Pod People.
In collaboration with